Hello and welcome to PopVoice, Suffolk University's arts and entertainment show in partnership with Studio 73, where we talk about any and all things pop culture. I'm Delaney Fischetti.
And I'm Casey Parker.
Today we'll be having a check-in on the Oscar fiascos that happened a few weeks ago. We'll talk about the Get Out Challenge and upcoming concerts and shows. First off, we're going to kick it off with our Suffolk Voice correspondent, Joe Benjamin, who is going to update us on the latest movies in Hollywood. Joe?
Thanks, Delaney. Can I just say that 2017 has not disappointed with movies? There are so many films I cannot wait to check out and hope you will too. Here are some flicks you need to see. Beauty and the Beast have been killing it in the box office, racking up over $300 million in its weekend debut. This remake of the 1991 animated film is something you gotta check out. Starring Emma Watson, Josh Gad, and Luke Evans, this movie is one to see. Next up are two comedy action movies that's mixed with fighting, villains, and cool outfits. Chips, starring Dax Shepard and Michael Pena, is a buddy cop movie about a veteran and a rookie teaming up to stop an ex-cop turned criminal from ruining the city of Los Angeles. After seeing that, check out the reboot everyone is talking about. Power Rangers are back and honestly look better than ever. The new cast, which involves Elizabeth Banks, Bryan Cranston, and singer Becky G, are back in a new adventure. They take on the evil Rita Repulsa, played by Banks, while being teenagers in high school and struggling to cope with their powers. Both of those movies came out last Friday, and we'll see how they continue to do in the box office. That's all on my end. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Joe. So I agree. I'm so excited to see some of those movies.
I am so excited for Beauty and the Beast specifically. I'm supposed to go see it in a few weeks with my cousin for her birthday, and my boyfriend found out that I was going to see it and went and saw it without me.
That's awesome.
So he's already seen it. It was just him in a theater with children.
I love that.
Yeah. It's like, you look creepy.
Now we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to end things off with a quick check-in on the Oscars that passed, as well as talk about the recent pop culture happenings. See you soon. Hello, and welcome back to Pop Voice.
Speaking of movies, a recent film has sparked an internet sensation. The Get Out Challenge is videos and short clips of people running very quickly directly toward the camera and then veering off right at the last moment. There are a bunch of short little clips on the internet that are either funny, people falling, people doing it in interesting places, or just the general how ridiculous this kind of looks.
Yeah, so like that Get Out, I actually saw it last week, and I am not surprised that something so big came out of the movie. It was amazing, first of all, props to them, and of course an internet meme or sensation had to come out of this. I'm not surprised, and this is a funny one. I mean, I enjoy watching it happen, and there is a bigger picture behind it as well.
And I think that was part of director Jordan Peele's kind of vision with writing this movie and with creating this piece, was to take a subject, kind of the racial subject that is unfair and really hard to talk about for a lot of people, because where people are so polarized on either side of the agreement, and kind of make it a more casual, more comfortable thing to talk about in a situation that isn't necessarily as high-strung. Make it something of entertainment value, make it something that can be in the arts and entertainment and social sphere.
Yeah, he definitely achieved that goal, and I'm looking forward to see more movies by him.
I am as well. It was definitely a breakout flick and an amazing first off for him as a director.
For sure. And speaking of big movies, that's definitely the hit of this year so far. So let's take a backtrack to the Oscars. There's a lot of entertainment. What are your thoughts on everything?
I mean, I think that it was a well put on show. Obviously, what people have talked about most, and what I feel most people have come up to me asking about or discussing, has been the end. The controversy with Best Picture, opening the wrong card, which it was interesting to watch. It's the first time they've ever made a mistake like that in the history of the Oscars, and it was kind of interesting to see they were almost human, or this huge production have a mistake.
Sure.
But it was also unfortunate because Moonlight, which actually won for Best Picture, had some of its press taken away by this scandal and by this kind of controversy, because people are talking more about what actually happened on stage than how deserving Moonlight is, and the fact that it's the first all-black cast to win an Oscar for Best Picture.
I agree. It is very disappointing that the energy and the excitement was taken away from that, because it's true. I mean, the first thing I saw on the internet was like the biggest mistake ever. Like, I didn't see Moonlight, which is like unfortunate, but I think everyone handled it very well. I loved seeing the people's reactions on their faces. Like, Meryl Streep was like in shock, and like she's been to every Oscar ceremony. So I thought that they all handled it well, and there was nothing else they could do about it.
Yes, I saw an interesting article about how the typography on the cards and the way the cards were laid out in terms of the winner and the movie kind of being not differentiated in terms of size or spacing. And from a graphic design background, it's really interesting to see how much those things matter, and that it really wasn't the presenter's fault.
Definitely.
Obviously, they don't see the cards until the last moment, and there's a lot of stress being on stage having to announce this, especially for Best Picture. So to stand up there and have to read this card and not necessarily know what was what must have been very stressful and confusing.
Yeah, like you could see in like Warren Beatty's face that he was in shock. Like, what would you do if you're standing up there and like the pressure's already on you and like you know it's wrong? Like, it's just like, it's hard, and they won, and that's really all that mattered. Some people weren't excited about everyone's win though. With Casey Affleck for Manchester by the Sea.
No, and it was evident all over Brie Larson's face when she presented. I mean, he's been charged and accused of sexual. Has he been charged?
Maybe.
Whoops. Cut this. He's been accused of sexual assault, which is a really big thing, and it's more and more people are coming out in Hollywood and accusing celebrities and people in the past, which Brie Larson is a huge advocate and survivor of sexual assault. So I think it was important for her to kind of take a stand and not fake a situation for professional face.
I agree. I think that she handles it well, like as well as she could have handled it. So it was interesting to see. Again, like, we saw the human side of Hollywood, which was, honestly, we never see that. So it was a breath of fresh air.
I think it was interesting, and although it may seem from the Oscars perspective, or though I'm sure the people on the board think that it was a slip up and are unhappy with it, it is a nice way to kind of keep things interesting and keep attention on them. When you look at, it may have been a mistake, but all press is good press kind of scenario.
Yeah, they can't be too disappointed. I mean, we're still talking about it.
Obviously.
That's all that matters. So moving on from movies to music, there's a lot of big things happening with music in Boston this summer.
Very excited. I'm most excited for, and I think a lot of people share my opinion in this, Boston Calling. There are some huge names, Chance the Rapper, Bon Iver, even Major Lazer. It is a really interesting and eclectic show, and I could not be more excited than for some of the people that are coming.
I know, I agree. And also, it's exciting that it's happening right in our backyard. So, like, no matter what, I'm probably not going to get tickets, but I can still listen to it and be happy and enjoy the music.
Just walk around and hear it all.
Yeah, it's the best of both worlds.
I agree.
And that's all the time we have today. Thanks for joining us on this quick Pop Voice episode. Be sure to like our Facebook page, The Suffolk Voice, and follow us on Instagram at @SU_voice. Check in next week for another episode, and as always, have a great day from everyone here at Pop Voice.